I do believe that for people who are presenting on a regular basis, take that laugh acronym, just capture the humor that made you laugh last
Yep.
week. Is there some way I can take that and drop it into my presentation without being silly or just coming across as being a comic? Because you don't want to come across as being a comedian. You want to come across as being a professional. And the way you're professional is getting a message across through a little bit of humor.
And I'm so glad that you made that distinction, because it's sometimes easy to like you said, like, I want to write this speech, but I want to make it funny, and so we start to try and be comedians, right?
Yeah.
We try to make
Yeah.
it funny. We try to be, and if you stop, to your point, and so the laugh acting, what it does a really good job, it forces you to stop and sort of take your time and go through the steps, and that's what you can build on. What gets really nice is once you've done it a few times, it just becomes more natural. And again, we talk about the branding; it becomes part of how you do things.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I say to people is that, let's say I'm doing a program for presenters or keynote speakers on adding humor to your presentation. And I say, all right, you're doing a 45-minute keynote.
Yep.
Well, all you've got to do is get the audience to laugh 4 or 5 times or smile 4 or 5 times in that presentation. And they'll think you're a humorous presenter as well as having good content. Right. And what I say to them, particularly with people who do keynote speeches and present a lot, most of the time you're presenting to different audiences.
Yes.
Okay. So for me, like if I've got 50 or 60 events in a year, about 50 of those probably would be to different audiences. So I can basically take the same humor in that speech and bring it to the next one, customize it a little bit.
Yes.
So I mean, you don't have to have a dramatic amount of anecdotes, quips, humor, etc. Just have some solid ones that you know you can use. If you're a salesperson and you're making a significant and large value calls on a regular basis, you should have a couple of little areas where you know you're going to say something that will put a smile on your client's face, and it will just and when you do it in a professional way and it's appropriate, it's going to help you to create a better connection with that client.
Again, I love the simplified approach. It really, and when you break it down the way Connor, you're absolutely right, and it's something that anyone can do. I do like the fact that you can be humorous and only tell and they get 4 or 5 laughs and they think you're a humorous person over a course of an hour of a speech that's their 45-minute presentation. I would imagine at the beginning and at the end would be probably 2 good places, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's different views on it, but just make sure you space it out, kind of thing. And one simple little one before we go is that if you're on Twitter, for instance, or if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you're going to see something today that will make you smile, probably.
Yes.
And what you should do is you should just capture that, put it into a little file, and maybe sometime, somewhere, I'll be able to use this little quote. Let's say we're talking to salespeople. It's really important for you to make sure that you're prepared before you go into a meeting. That's the core message, okay? But I would bet any money that if you look at Twitter over the next week or Facebook over the next week, you'll get some little anecdote or quote that would help you to reinforce that. And what you can say is that when you're doing a presentation, it's really important for you to be prepared before you go into your sales call. But this person here on this slide, for instance, had a slightly different view of it. Okay, so that's the way you can drop the humor in. You don't have to create it.
No,
I do create a lot of my own, but you don't have to create it. You capture it, and that's what will help you to connect with your customer, your client, your audience.
Well, you watch these late night talk shows, and what do? They look at the news of the day, and that's where all their jokes come from. They're not writing it; they're just commenting on it. So there we go.
That's true. Yeah,
Connor, this has been such a great chat. I've enjoyed myself. I've appreciated the time, and I've appreciated the humor, the laughter, but particularly I do love the commitment to the work that you do, the commitment to smiling and bring smiles to the faces of others, and we sort of talked earlier. There's so many positive ripple effects that come from that.